Well, since we haven't been here for a while, I suppose we might as well catch up with our first movie, X-Men First Class, or as I like to call it, We're Really Sorry About X-Men Origins Wolverine and X-Men 3. The movie follows the earliest days of America's favorite mutants during the Cold War. Nuclear attacks between Russia and America are being threatened, and it's up to our heroes to stop the evil Sebastian Shaw, played by the surprisingly menacing Kevin Bacon, from pushing the two superpowers over the edge. However, by the time Magneto, Professor X, and the rest of the motley crew came together, the movie started to really work for me. Much of that is thanks to Michael Fassbender, James McAvoy, and the rest of the cast, who really upgrade the summer blow-em-up into something a bit more substantial. It's a fun and brisk summer action movie, and despite the low box office totals, I can't wait to see what they do next with this series. I'm gonna give it 3 stars for now.
I agree. It moved fast, it had great characters, and the plot made sense, which immediately puts it above the other X-Men
Yes,
films.
and the special effects actually, for the most part, look good. Except Emma Frost is in this movie, and she's played by January Jones, and this movie probably gains an additional half star from me if you cut her character out, because she's so bad in this movie. It's just not good.
Her performance is excruciating. But I have to disagree with your earlier point that the narrative feels jumpy. I thought it cut very effectively between Xavier and Magneto and gave you a sense of how these two people were similar and had respect for each other, and yet were destined to be on opposing sides.
It logically makes sense. I'm going to go with you on that. However, just in terms of the rhythm of the movie, it's so choppy. I mean, they go from like Magneto's in, say, Colombia or something like that, and then they jump to McAvoy in a bar, and then they jump back to him in Argentina, and it never gets in a good flow. When they get all together, it works far better, I would say. What would you end up giving the movie in terms of star-wise?
I would give it 3.5 stars. I thought it was fun, exciting, and everything I wanted from my summer action movie.
And it's an improvement on Wolverine, thank God.
Our next movie is J.J. Abrams' much-anticipated summer blockbuster, Super 8. The story follows a boy named Joe and his friends who are working on an amateur zombie movie in their spare time. One night, while filming a scene by the local train tracks, they witness a violent train derailment and unwittingly capture footage of a mysterious creature escaping from the wreckage. When strange things start happening, it's up to Joe and his friends to discover the truth and save their town. Super 8 is funny, exciting, and surprisingly touching. It was everything I expected from my summer blockbuster. I give it 3 stars.
All right. I have to say, I thought Super 8 was super great. Whatever, guys. I think what a lot of people will say that it's a ripoff of the old Spielberg and stuff like that. I think it loses a little bit of originality points, but I think the characters in this movie are so well written, and the kid actors are so good that it works. It hides that fact for me at least. What did you think?
Definitely. I thought the kids were very natural together. It kind of felt like Close Encounters meets The Goonies.
Yeah.
And I thought that relationship was really well done. However, I do think that it felt a little unfocused at times. It tried to put focus on the relationship between all the kids, the Super 8 movie they're making, the relationship between Joe and his father, the relationship between Joe's father and Alice's father, the alien and the military, and it's like we have so many things, it feels like we didn't have enough time to focus on the ones I would have liked to.
I don't know about that per se. I think it does a really good job of bringing those moments together and giving them each their space and their time. If there is a complaint I would have about the movie, technically wise, some of the sequences in the movie feel almost too bombastic for it, like
particularly the train crash,
which is an awesome scene, and it's really intense. But when you look back on it, it just seems almost like
out of place.
It's too much. Exactly, it's too much. And speaking of too much, J.J. Abrams' lens glares.
It's not as bad as Star Trek. But he still needs to cool it with the lens
Yeah,
flares.
there's a shot when they're at the train station, and there's like 3 glares in the sky, and then there's like 5 glares down on the ground. It's so excessive, and there's no reason for it. It's a minor complaint, but come on, JJ. Focus, JJ. Get your act together.
You gotta watch it, man. Those lens flares.
Our last movie we're reviewing today, Green Lantern, is unfortunately also the last movie you should think of seeing in theaters right now. This latest superhero franchise wannabe stars Ryan Reynolds as the green, will-powered hero who fights off the forces of fear by using his special alien ring that can make anything from swords to guns to Hot Wheels racetracks. The movie follows the typical origin story formula, providing his basic flaws, potential love interest, and quirky sidekick characters. It's all very rote, cliché, and not very fun. The first half of the movie is these clichés mixed in with some very confused character development that feels like the result of a rushed final product. The second half doesn't bode much better, featuring a main villain that essentially disappears from the film, and another played by Peter Sarsgaard, who may in fact be the single worst villain in movie history. The premise is goofy, the CG is unconvincing and excessive, and the 3D wastes several good opportunities. There's potential here for a good movie, but I can't recommend a movie based on potential, so I gotta give it a lowly 1 spot.
I agree with you. 1 star.
Oh yeah, finally we agree completely on this show.
Absolutely. The CGI is ugly. The art style in general is very, the fact that his mask goes into his eyelids.
Yeah,
it doesn't strain credulity, but it's one of those things where it just doesn't look right. Nothing quite looks right.
Yeah, and there's even a part where Blake Lively, as his love interest, doesn't realize it's Ryan Reynolds because he's wearing this tiny mask, and it's just a goofy scene. It's very Superman, like, oh, he's wearing glasses. No one will know.
Every memorable beat in this movie is taken from something else. The beginning, when he flies up in the airplane to make the other 2 airplanes go down as well, pretty much a ripoff of the end of Iron Man when they go too high and get the ice build up.
And it's really unfortunate because Ryan Reynolds is likable in this movie. He's a charismatic, fun actor, and you can see what a good movie with him would be. And a sequel, I actually wouldn't mind a sequel. However, it's got to be better than this. There's nothing here to recommend.
Absolutely agree. The talents of Mark Strong and Ryan Reynolds and Clancy Brown, who voiced Parallax and got 6 lines about, completely wasted. And there was potential for a great story here.
Mm-hmm.
The Green Lantern mythology is very interesting, and it is a good story, but it wasn't told well.
Yeah, and also, if you're going to see this movie, audience members, there's something in the middle of the credits that makes no sense with your characters.
Nothing.
I don't want to spoil it, but it's ridiculous. It makes no sense with the ending. It's really bad sequel bait. I would not see the movie in general. Don't even bother.
Even from an action standpoint, it's extremely lacking. There's really nothing for even a fan of spectacle.
Yeah. When I first began looking for a DVD to review for our DVD review section, all I found was tripe. Between Sucker Punch, Limitless, and a bunch of other junk that isn't worth your time, I had to really dig to find something to review. In fact, I'm going to recommend a movie to you that I haven't even seen. The title alone is all I need. Hobo with a Shotgun. The movie follows Rutger Hauer as he takes on a bunch of rapscallions and thugs in his town. And yes, he is a hobo with a shotgun. I haven't even seen this movie yet, but if it's any bit near the campy fun of, say, a Piranha 3D or, dare I say, a Drive Angry 3D, at least you'll have a fun time, which is more than I can say than everything else that's coming out.
Paranoia, written by and starring Brad Jones from thecinemasnob.com, is an independent psychological thriller about a man having a very bad night. A killer is on the loose. A stranger knocks on his door only to collapse from a bullet wound. Worse yet, he can't seem to tell between what is real and what is just paranoia. It's mysterious, chilling, and will leave even seasoned movie buffs guessing. If you're interested and you're willing to forgive low production value, go check it out on walkawayentertainment.com or thecinemasnob.com.
So in closing, me and David both highly recommend Super 8 and X-Men First Class.
But stay away from Green Lantern, whatever you do.
Well said. I'm Matt Miller.
I'm David Nida.
And this has been Men About Film. So maybe next episode we can maybe disagree about a movie. That would be fun.
Hey, how about next time you just don't even come? You're so useless.
Oh yeah, because that's not Men About Film. It's just Man About Film, and that worked out so great the first time.
We're still filming.
Oh.
I like your shirt. Where'd you get that?
I actually stole it from a hobo.